Juan Hidalgo, comisionado agrícola del condado de Santa Cruz.
Hablemos de ese programa piloto porque está importante.
Es una buena forma de comunicarse con la comunidad, de darle la información sobre los fumigantes que se usan cerca de las escuelas. Así que es una buena forma de informarle a la comunidad. Ellos pueden ver esta información completa 5 días antes de que se haga la aplicación. Ellos pueden darse cuenta de todas las escuelas que están recibiendo una notificación y también pueden ver mapas que indican exactamente los agricultores que están cerca de las escuelas.
Entonces el programa significa que van a poner rótulos en títulos donde va a ser desplegado exactamente qué es.
El programa es para informar a la comunidad exactamente de las aplicaciones de fumigantes que se van a hacer dentro de un cuarto de milla de las escuelas. Ahorita son 10 escuelas que están participando en este programa aquí en el condado de Monterrey y va a tener mucha información en el internet. Hay un website donde la gente puede ver información exacta de la escuela, los agricultores, la fecha y la hora que se va a conducir la aplicación.
Sobre el programa
En el condado de Santa Cruz estamos haciendo algo similar, ya tenemos años de estar haciendo algo similar, lo único que nuestro programa ahorita no tiene un website.
¿Qué están haciendo ustedes?
Ahorita mandamos una copia del mapa con toda esa información al distrito escolar, por lo menos con 5 días de anticipación para que ellos puedan diseminar esa información a los maestros de las escuelas afectadas. A mucha gente le gusta saber cuándo se van a hacer estas aplicaciones de fumigantes. Estos son químicos peligrosos y son regulados. Hay muchas regulaciones para prevenir exposición a estos químicos, pero aún así la gente es importante de que sepan lo que está pasando y yo creo que es buena idea de que también tengan esa información y si tienen alguna pregunta siempre pueden llamar a nuestras oficinas y nos podemos comunicar con ellos.
¿Los pesticidas se pueden aplicar entonces qué tan lejos de las escuelas?
Ahorita hay un límite, bueno, se pueden aplicar cerca de las escuelas, pero si están dentro de un cuarto de milla hay limitaciones, no se pueden aplicar durante las horas de escuela y con los fumigantes específicamente, si están dentro de un cuarto de milla, solo se puede hacer esa aplicación básicamente los sábados cuando no hay clases.
Oh, good. How do this program is helping schools and communities?
Well, it's important that there's good communication between the schools and between our farmers and the pesticides that they're using. It's important that the students, the parents, the school employees all understand what's happening, when is it happening, and how do we coexist safely.
What's the impact of pesticides in children, in students?
Yeah, so research shows that pesticides are more dangerous to younger and older people, obviously. And so, that's why it's just so critical that a website like this exists so that parents and schools and community members have the opportunity to access the information, be well informed, and make good decisions about their health.
As an educator, do you think there's some link between pesticides and cognitive thinking and learning?
Yeah, so there is a lot of research out there. Oh my gosh, I've had a brain freeze and I know this research very well. The Chamacos Project, sorry. So yes, there is a lot of research out there. The Chamacos Project is a good example of the research that exists. I happen to be principal at San Vicente Elementary School many years ago when our students were actually participating in that research project. And there is a link to pesticides and mothers who are pregnant and the long-term learning effects that the students can have.
So this pilot program will actually get students to be more safe?
Yes, well, I think this is all about communication, right? Understanding what pesticides are being used, where they're being used, when they're being used, and ensuring that the pesticides are being used safely and following all the rules and regulations so that all of our students and our staff members and our entire community stay safe.
Mi nombre es César Lara, soy director profesor laboral de la Bahía de Monterrey.
Porque pienso que este programa es bueno.
Pues al último de todo es información. Ahorita padres, estudiantes, comunidad necesitan que saber qué anda pasando en su comunidad. Un estudio en 2014 enseñó que el condado de Monterey tiene un puntaje de muchas escuelas que están al lado de las filas. Y los estudiantes, los maestros, las personas que trabajan en la escuela dicen que saber a lo mínimo qué anda pasando para tomar los pasos para hacer cosas.
County of Monterey. I want to thank you all for being here today to hear the good news that there were about our pilot Fumigant notification project. I want to introduce our other speakers. I want to also ask that you save your questions until we're done with our formal remarks. We'll be happy to give an interview if you would like. I would like to interview recognize some folks here as well. But first I want to introduce the other speakers. First I'd like to introduce Martha Sanchez. She is with the California Department of Pesticide Regulation. She is the Environmental Justice Liaison, and she'll be one of the speakers. Also we have here Dr. Michelle Rodriguez. She is the Superintendent of the Pajaro Valley Unified School District. And then we also have Cesar Lara. He is the Executive Director of the Monterey Bay Central Labor Council, amongst other things. I also want to mention that we have Jim Bogart here in the audience. He is the President and General Counsel of the Grower Shipper Association. And so let me start by saying Jim Bogart, Cesar Lara, Dr. Rodriguez, and I don't see him here at the moment, but Norm Group, the Executive Director of the Farm Bureau. These folks have been supporters of this pilot project from the beginning, so much so that they submitted letters of support which I believe helped convince the Department of Pesticide Regulation to grant us the funding to execute this project. So in all, it's been, I believe, a great effort. It's been 3 years since we started back in 2016. We formed an incredible team to put this project together. And again, I'll mention that it is the only one in the nation of this type. I do want to look into my notes to fully appreciate the acumen of the project members. Some of the members, well, I believe only Dr. Joe is here, but Traci Townsend-Gieg, she is a non-profit healthcare professional who has overseen projects examining pesticide exposure and the effects of reproductive health of farm workers, as well as directed pilot implementation of a clinical pesticide exposure risk assessment tool. Our own Dr. Joanne Perrone, she's a OB-GYN who earned a master's degree in public health from the University of California, Berkeley, and actually much more, but we'll leave it at that for now. Stephanie McMurphy, who's not here, but she's specializing in health programs, research, and facilitation, and holds a master's degree in health science from Johns Hopkins University. Leah Brooks is also not here. She's a former Assistant Director of Communications for the California Department of Pesticide Regulation. These are the members of the team that helped put this pilot project together. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the pilot project. The most important part of this pilot project is the website that's been created. And you can go there anytime. It is at farmingsafelynearschools.com. When you go there, this is what you'll see first. This is the beginning, and you'll find in there, you'll find information about health, how to protect yourself from pesticides. You'll find information about pesticide regulations, and you'll also be able to register to receive notifications 5 days in advance of fumigations that are going to occur within a quarter mile of the pilot project schools. Now, when we first started, there were only 3 schools in the pilot project. They were all from the Pajaro Valley Unified School District. But we received an additional grant from the California Department of Pesticide Regulation, and now have an additional 7 schools from the North Monterey County School District. So 10 schools in all. Where are we going now? Well, we're going to continue to talk with the community, continue to listen to what they say, and continue to expand what we're doing. Last June, we did a soft launch. We did a soft launch in part because we wanted to test the website. We wanted to see what feedback we got from the community, and we got some excellent feedback from the community. And based on that feedback, we made a couple of significant changes. One is that we've translated the entire website into Spanish. And secondly, instead of just getting a notification online on your email, you can now receive the notification in a text message on your phone. So those are 2 of the improvements that we've already completed. We're looking to expand and include more farmers and more restricted materials. Right now it is only the fumigants, but we're looking to expand into all restricted pesticides and farmers within the quarter mile. So we're going to continue to study what we're doing. As a pilot project, the whole objective is to explore and learn. How can we do this? How can we do this better? We felt that today would be a good day because the website is up and it is very strong. We have a number of folks already signed up for the notifications, and we just encourage you to visit the website. There's a survey. If you would please fill out the survey, give us some more feedback. This is how we learn. This is how we better what we're doing. Anyway, I'm very proud of this project. Something that's not required of us, but I think is a very wise thing to do for the community and for agriculture here locally. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the representative from the Department of Pesticide Regulation, the Environmental Justice Liaison, Marta Sanchez.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. Buenos dias. My name is Marta Sanchez. I represent the Department of Pesticide Regulation, and I'm also representing our acting director, Teresa Marks. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here, but she just wanted to congratulate the Ag Commissioner and all the teams, the partners, on making this project possible. DPR's mission is to protect human health and the environment, and that to say, kids are very important in our mission as well. So we did the funding, but it took the vision, it took the work, and that's where I congratulate the Commissioner and the partners. We always hear transparency all over the place, all over California. Every time we go to a conference, we hear people say transparency. I don't want to hear transparency. I want to see actions. You know, don't just say it. Actually do something like exactly the Ag Commissioner and the partners did. This shows that we are really honestly out there. We are working with everyone to make this possible. So I, again, congratulate you and thank you for having me. And again, I'm representing Teresa Marks, and she also thanks us for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this very important program. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you, Marta. And next, I'd like to ask Dr. Michelle Rodriguez, the superintendent of the Pajaro Valley Unified School District, to come and say a few words.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. When we speak about the mission of Pajaro Valley Unified School District, we always speak about our number one priority being the health and safety of our students. So we know that when they're physically, social, emotionally supportive and surrounded by strong academics, we can do the best for our children. And what I've really found through this pilot is that both agricultural commissioners want the exact same thing. They want to ensure that our students go to schools that are safe and environmentally sound for our students. We also know that agriculture is something that is the jewel of our community, so it's something that we have to cherish, and it's something that we have to work together to figure out how we can have that relationship. And so the school district prior to my arrival, developed a resolution kind of in a statement talking about the safety of students and asking for some things. And what I really appreciated within months of my tenure, both agricultural commissioners, both Monterey and Santa Cruz County, came to me proactively and said, how can we work together to be transparent? How can we work together so that people do feel safe and have accurate information? Because I think sometimes what happens is when you don't know, then information flows, right? And so we want to make sure that every single teacher, every single community member, parent, and child has access to information that allows them to feel safe in their community. And so I really appreciate how they have engaged staff. So we have 3 schools, as was mentioned, that's in the pilot. So that's Aloni Elementary, Hall District Elementary, and Pajaro Middle. And each one of those staff members had multiple opportunities to look at the website prior to its launch, provide feedback. So much of the feedback about it being translated, about text message, came from my very staff members. And it was something that I think was not done before. So it's not really just about the website, but it's about the root relationship that allowed the website to be had. And so I think it was the first time that all sides got together and decided what's a win-win for our students and our community. And so for that, I appreciate the part of this event, and also look forward to the continued collaboration so that more and more schools can get the exact same type of transparency. So thank you very much.
Thank you again, Dr. Rodriguez. Next, I'd like to invite Cesar Lara. He is the Executive Director of the Monterey Bay Central Labor Council. Cesar?
Thank you, Henry. And Cesar Lara, I'm with the Monterey Bay Central Labor Council. We represent 37,000 union members across Monterey and Santa Cruz County. We're also a proud member of Californians for Pesticide Reform, and we're proud members of SAS, Safe Ag, Safe School, which is part of Californians for Pesticide Reform. I want to commend our current Ag Commissioner, Henry, and I really want to commend Jim Bogard and Norm Root, because this has been an issue with labor in the community for a number of years. We could go back 50 years to the work that the labor movement have been doing around pesticide reform. In 1988, Cesar Chavez's last fast was around pesticide reform in California. So this has been in the forefront of issues. And what came to head was in 2014 a report that the Department of Pesticide Regulations came up with, and it showed that Monterey County had the highest exposure to pesticides around schools. It said that 137 county schools with a population of about 73,000 students in Monterey County are exposed to high levels of pesticides within a quarter mile. And that was with the own Ag Commissioner report. So as a community, we came together, and Henry and his predecessor, Eric, in 2016 we came up with this. So a 2014 report that ended up with the 2016 action. Now we're in 2019. And this is a positive step forward in the work that we're doing, because information is knowledge. I come from a farm working family. My parents both worked in ag, and they knew that there was an inherent risk when you're in agriculture around pesticide reform, but that should not be the case for students going to school or teachers that work in a profession to go to a school and be exposed to high levels. This is a positive step forward. This is a model that needs to be carried out across California and across Monterey County. 10 schools so far in Monterey County have taken this up, and Deneen Gus, the county superintendent of schools, is going to work with the Ag Commissioner, and we got to get this county-wide, we got to get this statewide, because information is power. If you're a teacher in a classroom and you have this information, you could take action, because at the end, a lot of it is information. We don't really have a positive relationship between agriculture and schools. The farmer next to the school needs to have a positive relationship with the principal and the staff there so they can have the information. Agriculture does their best to keep things safe. We have regulations that are really strong in California more than any other state, but there's still gaps in that information. So we're encouraged by this pilot program becoming a hard launch, a launch that we could tell the community about. And there's communities out there that are requesting this to be expanded to their schools. So we look forward to it, and we look forward to working with agriculture. You know, Jim is a good friend of mine, and we agree to disagree on a lot of issues within ag, but at the end, we want California, we want the county of Monterey to have a strong agriculture industry. And for that, we also need to think of the workers that work for them and their parents, as parents, and them having kids in our community. We need to keep them safer. This is more than other ag commissioners have taken. I know the ag commission from Santa Cruz County has a positive relationship with the schools in Pajaro as well, and we look forward for this being a model for the rest of California. So I thank you, Henry, for the work your department has done so far, and let's do this. And I'm really proud of the work we've done. And thank you very much.
So there's a couple other people I'd like to acknowledge here. One is Heather Healy. She's been our project manager and done most of the heavy lifting within the department. And I also want to recognize another supporter from the very beginning. That would be Juan Hidalgo, the Santa Cruz County Agricultural Commissioner, who's here today. I do want to mention one other thing, just for informational purposes. At least in the past 10 years, there has not been a single ag pesticide-related illness at any school in Monterey County. But what we're doing with this project, we're doing more above and beyond, because information, as Cesar was saying, is very powerful in giving us that feeling of security. So it's more than you're safe, it's feeling that you're safe is also important. With that, I'm going to end the press event and be open to interviews by the press. But I guess we should take questions first.
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
So the expansion is about what is covered, like restricted pesticides? Is that the expansion you're talking about?
Yes, the expansion, currently the project is only for soil fumigants, which were selected because those are some of the most toxic pesticides that are used. The expansion would be to all restricted pesticides. So currently, not all farmers use fumigants, and so they wouldn't be part of the project. But once we expand it to all restricted use pesticides, that will likely bring in all of the farmers except for perhaps organic farmers.
And follow-up question. There are two schools in Salinas that aren't covered, but they're surrounded by ag land, and that's Santa Rita School District and McKinnon. When are those going to be covered?
We don't have a date for those. We have to see how we continue to succeed with the current amount of work that we have in front of us. We really haven't fully implemented as we would like to see within the North Monterey County School District. So we're getting there. How fast is going to be dependent in part on the funding restrictions and then just staff time to get there. But we are moving from north, and it appears to be moving north to south.
What's the...
How much were the two grants that we got to first launch it and then the second?
I'll have to punt on the first one, but I know that the one that we're currently operating under, which is up until 2020, is just over $94,000. Other questions? Yes.
So some people are saying a quarter mile is not enough, like a mile. Do you have any intention to do that, or any timeline associated?
At this point, we're still working to improve and refine what we're doing within a quarter mile. So I know there's folks that believe half a mile, others that believe a mile, others that believe we shouldn't use pesticides at all. And perhaps that's where we're going, I don't know, but where we're at right now is within a quarter mile and of these 10 schools, and we're looking to further refine the system. Part of why I wanted to do this event was to get the word out to the community. They can go to the website, and if they're interested, fill out that survey and give us the input that we need to see what are the needs of the community.
If I could add to that question, Henry?
Please.
And so, I'm assuming that's okay. And so we are one of the organizations that wants to go beyond a quarter mile. And to the Ag Commissioner's earlier comments, the kind of defined responsibility of an Ag Commissioner is acute risk. Like if something happens and they apply a chemical that immediately causes a danger. But we have science that shows that its long-term exposures to pesticide could also be harmful. And as we have staff at schools that work there for a generation, a teacher that's been there 20, 30 years before they retire, having that high level of exposure, and then students. If you were there from kindergarten to, let's say, 5th grade at a school, it's the long-term exposure that we have fears about. But Henry is right. His job is acute, right? We've made that argument before, but I think that at the end, we believe that a quarter mile is not enough. It needs to go more. It needs to be a buffer zone. But this is a step forward in that discussion because we all have different roles and responsibilities in this fight. But as SAS and as the Labor Council and the labor movement across California, we believe that there needs to be a higher level of safety around schools around pesticide. And at the end, it's about land use decisions. Let's not put it all on the Ag Commissioner, not on Ag. School boards make decisions to build schools near the outskirts of towns. They're the ones that put the students at risk, and the poor farmers that have been there for generations working those fields now all of a sudden have a neighbor that's a school, and now they have to deal with me and Henry wanting to do extra stuff, but at the end, Monterey County has a rich agricultural history, and let's not put it all on the growers and the Ag Commission. Let's also put it on school board members that make these decisions. Right now, the FAA could kill a school project because it's near an airport. Ag Commission has no authority to tell a school district that they should not build a school next to a field and put the economic and the risk to the community. Right, Jim? They should have some kind of level of authority to say, hey, take a step back. Let's not build a school that's 2/3 surrounded and then there's a road. That's not right. I don't know if there's any other questions. Thank you.
Yes.
So when you were launching the program first, you said you got a lot of feedback from the community and the teachers gave you a lot of feedback. But were there any other community members that knew about the website and gave you feedback? Like parents or, I don't know, students who wanted to navigate the website?
Well, that was kind of the issue, was that we didn't have a lot of feedback from the parents. Actually, we didn't have a lot of feedback at all, and that's what told us that we need to do something to get the word out. And we're actually planning this event back last September, and then pushed back to it kept getting pushed back. And so it is for that very reason that we weren't receiving a lot of feedback, that we felt that we need to do more to highlight this website so folks will go there and see what it is and tell us how we can improve. Thank you so much for your time and being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.